What if I told you that the most infamous serial killer in history was never caught? In the foggy streets of Victorian London, a mysterious figure carried out a series of brutal murders that would terrify the city and baffle investigators for over a century. Welcome to Bloodspot, where we delve into the most blood-soaked and gripping true stories from history. Tonight, we journey back to the shadowy streets of Victorian London. Brace yourselves as we unravel the enigma of the most infamous serial killer in history, Jack the Ripper. Our story begins in the East End of London, in the district of Whitechapel. Imagine a place teeming with life, but overshadowed by poverty, crime, and despair. The East End was a melting pot of immigrants, struggling workers, and the destitute. Overcrowded and rife with disease, the area was a breeding ground for crime. The streets were narrow, poorly lit, and lined with lodging houses and pubs. Amidst this backdrop of hardship, a sinister figure began his reign of terror. On the 31st of August, 1888, the body of Mary and Nichols was discovered in Bucks Row. Picture a cold, misty morning, a lifeless body lying in the street, throat slashed. Nichols, known as Polly to her friends, was a 43-year-old woman who had fallen on hard times. Her brutal murder shocked the community, but it was just the beginning. Over the next few months, 4 more women would meet similar fates: Annie Chapman, Elizabeth Stride, Catherine Eddowes, and Mary Jane Kelly. Each murder more brutal than the last, leaving the community in fear and the police scrambling for answers. The streets buzzed with fear and speculation. The police, under immense pressure, investigated tirelessly. Led by Inspector Frederick Aberline, the Metropolitan Police faced immense public scrutiny. They interviewed countless suspects, followed numerous leads, and employed various methods, including bloodhounds and even appealing to psychics. Adding to the chaos were the letters sent to the police and the press. The most infamous of these, signed Jack the Ripper, taunted the authorities and intensified the hysteria. The Dear Boss letter, received by the Central News Agency, was the first to bear the infamous signature. Another letter, the Saucy Jackie postcard, mentioned the double event of Elizabeth Stride and Catherine Eddowes. Theories about the Ripper's identity abound. Was he a local butcher, a deranged doctor, or perhaps a member of royalty? Suspects ranged from the mundane to the sensational, but none were definitively proven to be the Ripper. One of the suspects was Dr. Thomas Neil Cream, a convicted serial killer. Some believe he was Jack the Ripper, despite being imprisoned in the United States at the time of the murders. This theory hinges on the possibility that he bribed his way out of jail and traveled to London. Another sensational theory implicated Prince Albert Victor, grandson of Queen Victoria. The theory suggested that he had a secret life and was responsible for the murders. However, there is no solid evidence to support this claim, and it is widely regarded as a conspiracy theory. Montague Jondrette, a barrister and schoolteacher, emerged as a suspect after his suicide in December 1888. His death coincided with the end of the Ripper murders, leading some to believe he was the killer. However, there is little concrete evidence linking him to the crimes. Even though Jack the Ripper is one of the most notorious serial killers, here are some lesser-known facts about his case. Contrary to popular belief, Jack the Ripper did not name himself. The infamous nickname actually originated from a letter sent to a news agency, signed with that chilling alias. This letter played a significant role in amplifying the Ripper's notoriety and contributing to the hysteria surrounding the case. Mary Jane Kelly, the Ripper's final victim, met a particularly gruesome end. Unlike the previous victims who were attacked on the streets, Kelly was killed indoors in her own residence. The brutality of her murder, coupled with the detailed mutilations, added a new dimension to the Ripper's modus operandi and heightened public horror. The Ripper's reign of terror had a profound impact on Victorian society. The murders brought to light the stark contrast between the affluent West End and the impoverished East End. The press coverage of the murders was extensive, with newspapers often sensationalizing the events to boost sales. This led to a widespread public fear and a lasting legacy that has kept the story of Jack the Ripper alive in popular culture. The media frenzy surrounding the Ripper murders was unprecedented. Newspapers published graphic details and speculative stories, often without regard for the truth. This not only fueled public fear, but also hindered the police investigation by spreading misinformation and creating a circus-like atmosphere around the case. Over the years, numerous modern theories and investigations have emerged, utilizing advanced technology and forensic science. In recent years, DNA analysis has been employed in an attempt to identify Jack the Ripper. One notable attempt involved analyzing mitochondrial DNA from a shawl purportedly found at one of the crime scenes. While the results suggested a match to a modern descendant of one of the suspects, the evidence remains controversial and inconclusive. Jack the Ripper's reign of terror ended as mysteriously as it began. The murders ceased after Mary Jane Kelly's death, leaving the world to wonder why. Did the killer die, get incarcerated for another crime, or simply move on to another area? His identity remains one of history's most tantalizing mysteries, continuing to captivate and horrify us over a century later. Thank you for joining us on this chilling journey into the dark past of Victorian London. If you enjoyed this episode, please like the video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to get notified of our latest uploads. Until next time, stay curious and stay safe.